What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, I want to show you how coders can get $10,000 in stimulus money from the government right now. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, I want to talk about how to get your $10,000 government stimulus check if you're a coder. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, so today is March 30th, 2020, and you probably know a few days ago, the government passed a massive $2 trillion stimulus plan for the pandemic that's going around and just destroying everything. So a part of that bill that was just passed and the president just signed was a provision for $10,000 grants for small businesses. So if you're a coder, if you're a freelancer, if you have any sort of business whatsoever, you can apply for this grant. It's really easy, it's really quick, and you could get $10,000, they say, within the next 3 days. Now, I don't know if that'll actually be the case, if it will actually be 3 days. The bill provisions for $10 billion to be set aside for this specific thing. And if each business gets $10,000, 10 billion divided by 10,000 equals a million, right? So a million of us are going to get these grants. And there are something like 30 million small businesses in America. So, 30 million small businesses, 1 million of us are going to get these grants for $10,000. So it's first come, first serve. Just get in there. So this obviously just applies if you're an American company or American self-employed or a sole proprietor, any American-based, US-based, right? So sorry, all my viewers outside of America, this doesn't apply to you. But if you are in America and even if you're just barely running a business, even if you don't even have a business, even if you've just done some freelancing work from time to time, you may be eligible for this $10,000. So I'm going to walk you through the application process. I'm going to show you how to get this done. So again, before we get started, this applies to US citizens and US businesses only. I want to talk about this for a second also. If you are a coder and you're selling your services as a business, this definitely applies for you. If you have a corporation set up, if you have a limited liability company set up, if you have some sort of partnership set up, even if you don't have any of those set up and you're just a sole proprietor, right? This could still apply for you. But if you have a business, this definitely applies for you. And if you are self-employed in any way, this definitely applies to you. Even if you don't have a business entity set up, even if you don't have your own corporation or your own LLC or whatever, if you're just a guy and you take a couple of freelance gigs throughout the year, this can still apply to you. So definitely take this seriously. So, okay, another thing I want to talk about really quickly is coders may not have had their businesses disrupted by the pandemic. You can work from home as a coder, etc. But the president just announced tomorrow they were supposed to lift the quarantine suggestions, the quarantine guidelines. They revised that. They said, no, we're going to push it out another month. So they're thinking at least this is going to go on till the end of April. And realistically, it could be 3 to 6 months or more that this goes on. So even if this hasn't directly, hurt your business right now, it's going to in some way in the future. So even if you don't have a direct thing that you can point to and say this has ruined my business, I would still apply for this anyway because you just don't know. You never know. You may need it in the future. And there's no real check anyway to see if you've been hurt by the pandemic or not. They're just going to cut these checks to everybody. There's so many. I think they're just going to hand them out to whoever signs up first. So even if you haven't been directly impacted, chances are over the next year you will be. So I would still consider getting this anyway. So, all right, how do we get this? How do we do this? Go to sba.gov. This is the Small Business Administration website. This is a government agency, quasi-government agency. It's the Small Business Administration. I guess it is a government agency. And just go to their website, and right here at the top, you see this big thing. If you want this thing, click here. Now, before I do it, I need to explain what this is. The Small Business Administration gives out loans to small businesses. And technically, this is a loan. But the first $10,000 of that loan is a grant that you don't have to pay back. It's just free money. So all you want is a $10,000 loan, right? So then the first 10,000 of that becomes a grant that you don't have to pay back. If they contact you later and say, do you want a loan? No, you don't want the loan. You just want the 10 grand at the beginning. That's a grant that you don't have to pay back. Maybe you want a loan. If you do, you can go through the process with them. But if you just want the free money that you don't have to pay back, you just want that first $10,000 grant. That's what this is all about. So come up here and click on this link. And this goes to the Streamline application. Now, yesterday, this was not here. Yesterday, you had to fill out 10 different forms manually, PDF, save them to your computer, and then manually upload them to the Small Business Administration. I did it yesterday for myself and some friends and family. I helped them. And it was a massive hassle. You had to provide tax returns. You had to fill out like 10 different forms. You had to go over, the last 12 months of your earnings and break them down. It was a hassle. It took me all day yesterday. And then today they put up this website where it literally takes 2 minutes to fill this out. And you don't have to provide tax forms. You don't have to do anything but fill out this simple form. So, oh well, it's much easier this way. So I'm going to walk through here and you can read this and see what this is for. It's blah, blah, blah. You can read through all this. Okay, eligibility entity verification. So are you eligible? Applicant is a business with not more than 500 employees. Okay, that's me. I have an actual business. We'll go through it for businesses and we'll go through it for self-employed individuals. Applicant is an individual who operates under sole proprietorship. So if with or without employees. So if you don't have employees, no big deal. You can still do this. Or if you're an independent contractor, no big deal. You could do this. Freelancer, no big deal. You are eligible. Says it right there. Independent contractor, freelancer, with or without employees, sole proprietorship, no business entity whatsoever. You still are eligible for this. If that's you, you click this button. I'm going to do this business one. Application is a cooperative with not more than 500 employees. No. ESOP, no. Tribal small business, no. Agricultural co-op, no. With more than 500 employees, I don't think anybody watching these videos has a company with more than 500 employees, but if you do, click there. If you're a private not-for-profit, click there. So I'm going to go with the business one. We'll go back and do the self-employed one after that. But now you just come through here and check all of these that apply to you, and they're probably all going to. So applicant is not engaged in any illegal activity. No principal applicant with 50% or greater ownership interest is more than 60 days delinquent on child support. No, I don't even have kids. Applicant is not an agricultural interest. You're not a farmer, right? You're a coder. You don't do live perform. You're not a webcam girl, right? Sorry if you are. This doesn't apply to you, I guess. Live performances of a purient sexual nature. I do live performances, I guess. Well, these aren't live. We're taping, but definitely not sexual. Applicant does not derive more than 1/3 gross revenue from illegal or from legal gambling. I do live in Vegas, but no. Applicant is not in the business of lobbying. Definitely not. An applicant cannot be a state, local, or government, municipal government, or member of Congress. Okay, so click continue. Now you just enter your business name, right? So this is the name that you use when you fill out your taxes, right? So my company is Codemy.com Incorporated, right? Now, trade name, if you have a doing business as name, enter it here. Otherwise, just copy this same thing over. So here, it wants your EIN. This is the business social security number, basically, right? So it's usually like two numbers and then a bunch of other ones, right? So this is the thing that you put on your taxes, right? You know what your EIN is. If you're filling it out for a sole proprietor, you would just put your social security number. Organization type. So limited liability companies, sole proprietorship, C Corp, S Corp, general partnership, limited liability partnership, limited partnership, cooperative, trust, or independent. So I am a C Corp. I would put that. A lot of you may be S Corps or limited liability companies. Whatever you are, just put that in. S Corp, C Corp, whatever. Is the applicant a nonprofit organization? No. Is the applicant a franchise? No. All right, so gross revenue. This one's a little tricky. This is asking for the gross revenue for the 12 months prior to the date of the disaster, which they have marked as January 31st, 2020. Now, this is not a calendar year. This is a fiscal year, meaning February 1st, 2019 through January 31st, 2020, right? A fiscal year. So how much was your gross revenues between February 1st of last year and January 31st of this year? And, gross revenue is just the top line, the money that came in. So, if it was, $100,000, you would just put that in there. Now, this is not net revenue. This is not minus all your deductions, minus, I paid 10,000 in advertising and I had, 80,000 in payroll and I had this, that, just your top line revenue, right? So cost of goods sold, if you're a coder, that's likely zero. Cost of goods sold is like the inventory you had to buy in order to do business. So if you're like a grocery store, the cost of goods sold would be all the food that you buy and then you sell that food, right? So we're coders, we don't really have inventory of anything. So your cost of goods sold, it'll likely be zero. These other things are not required, so I would just leave them blank. Rental property, unless you have rental property income or nonprofit cost of operations, blah, 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 secular social services by a faith-based entity. We're coders. This doesn't apply to any of us. Okay, primary business address. This is the address you put in your tax return when you file your business taxes. If you're a limited liability company and you work from your home, put your home address, right? City, state, and zip code. Business phone, self-explanatory. Business email. The date the business was established. If you're not sure, if you don't remember when you started your company, usually your state Secretary of State website has a corporation or LLC lookup form where you can look up a business and it will tell you when that business was formed. So if you don't remember, check that. You might check Form SS4. Yeah, so when you first formed your company, you filed Form SS4 with the IRS. That's the letter you use to get your EIN, your employer identification number from the IRS. That has a date on it. If you can't remember, if your state doesn't have a Secretary of State website where you can look up when your company was formed, just use the date of that, because that's the official date your business started from the IRS's point of view when they give you your identification number. So just use that if you can't think of anything else. All right, so when was the thing established? When were you current ownership was in place? Probably the same date that it was established, unless you've recently bought the company or something. Business activity, this is a tricky one, right? So there is no thing here for coding. There's a communications, and then after that you come down here, none of the above, so probably not that. There is business services, and you come down to the next one. None of these really apply to us as coders or freelancers. I did education services and seminars because that's basically what I do. These are basically just seminars I do online. But if you're a coder, if you're doing freelance work, then it's a little tricky. So I would probably come down here and just put, there's an other somewhere here, miscellaneous services I would probably put for a coder if you do freelance work or independent contractor. And here, internet prescription, no. Other services, retail, no. I would probably put none of the above or none of the below, because whatever. All right, number of employees. So this one's a little tricky too. Now, if you are a C Corp, right, or an S Corp, and you pay yourself a payroll paycheck, right? You get a W-2 or whatever, and you take out all the taxes and withholdings and FICA and all that, you count as an employee. So you are one employee if it's just you. If you have a company with several people, obviously you know how many people those are, so you put that there. If you're a limited liability company and you're not taking a paycheck, which you're probably not, as a limited liability company, the money just flows through into your checking account, and then later on in the year when you file taxes, you file Form Schedule C and SE, and you pay your self-employment taxes that way. If that's the case, you're not an employee, right? You're the owner. An employee is somebody who gets a paycheck, a specific paycheck with a pay stub, with taxes taken out and unemployment insurance taken out and all of that, right? So if you're a sole proprietor, you're not an employee. So I would put 0. If you're a limited liability company and you're not taking a paycheck, making yourself a specific paycheck, I would put 0 here. Otherwise, if you are a corporation and you're paying yourself an actual paycheck, put 1 for 1. Okay, so one more thing. Let's see, what else have we done? I missed something. Oh, business address. I'm just going to put address, city, Nevada, 89137 111 222 3333. What else? Business email, no@no.com, 12 to 22 20 19 12 22 19. Okay. 2019. There we go. It has to be in the format of 2019. All right, so what else? Okay, so now we can click next. And I'm not going to submit this at the end, so don't worry. Now, don't miss this one up here. Is your business owned by a business? So if you own a company that owns a company, then yes. Otherwise, it's probably no, right? So here is where you put your own information, right? So you personally, your name, your last name. So I'll do John Elder, 111 222 333. My title is CEO, or if you want to do owner, whatever. Ownership interest, 100%. Email no@no.com. SSN, social security number. Okay, birth date, 02/14/1978. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. Am I a U.S. citizen? Yes. Where's my address? City, state, zip code, 111. All right. So very straightforward, just your information. All right, click next. Now, just a couple more things here. In the past year, have you been convicted of a crime? No. Are you currently debarred from working with the federal government? No. Are you presently subject to indictment for criminal information? Blah, blah, blah. No. Here, did somebody help you with this? Don't put my name here. I did not help you with this form. Nobody helped you with it. You did it yourself. Finally, here's the most important thing. I would like to be considered for an advance up to $10,000. Boom, that's what you want. Make sure that's checked. The most important thing. Next, put your bank name and your account number and routing number, because they're just gonna zap this money straight into your account, and they need your account number to do that. And then finally, click this little thing down here and click next. I'm not gonna do that because we don't wanna fill out this form because I've already filled it out. But then you'll just go to a summary page where it shows all the information and it says, are you sure? You click yes and click the button and you submit it. And that's all there is to it. There's a little page you can print out with a confirmation number if you want. And that's all there is. Now, the only thing I'll mention again is you do not want a loan. So if they contact you later on, which they're not gonna, because a million people are about to apply for this thing and they're not gonna contact people. But if they do contact you and say, would you like a loan? No, you don't want the loan. You just want the $10,000 grant. Just tell them that. No, I don't want a loan. I just want the $10,000 grant. They'll take it from there. But they're not going to contact you. There's just too many people signing up for this thing. So, okay, let's go back to SBA.gov and start over again and look at this from a self-employed point of view. So, all right, instead of checking the business one, we want the sole proprietorship one. So we click that. And again, all these, you know, we're not gambling, we're not webcam girls, blah, blah, blah. We're not local government or congressman. All right, business legal name. If you are a sole proprietor, you don't have any sort of business entity, just put your name. So John Elder, right? And same thing here, John Elder. Now, it's going to ask for your social security number, which it's not even letting me. So it looks like the wrong format. Well, it's asking for business information. Are we sure? Let's go back. Let's check this again. So, yeah, definitely make sure that's checked. And check all of the, I'm going to refresh this page just to make sure we're on the right thing here. Okay, so applicant is an individual who operates under sole proprietorship with or without employees or as an independent contractor. And click all of these again. All right, continue. Yeah, it's still weird. Okay, well, anyway, it looks like it's the same form. I figured it would change a little bit as a, you know, as a sole proprietorship because, well, maybe did it add sole proprietorship? Well, whatever. Click sole proprietorship. Put your social security number in here. Is the applicant a nonprofit? No, no. Again, put your gross revenues, whatever that is, you know, even if it's, you know, $2,000, put that in. Right? Even if you made $500, just put that in. Who cares, right? Cost of goods sold, 0. And again, down here, put your address, business phone number, business email, no@no.com. When was your business formed? 1/01/1980. 1/01/1980. Whenever your business was formed, same deal. And again, same deal here. I'd probably put miscellaneous services, and none of the below. Number of employees, I would put 0 because you're a sole proprietor. You don't have employees. Technically, you're an employee, but you're not making a paycheck, right? You're not creating a paycheck. You're just flowing the money into your account without paying a paycheck, and then later on, you're paying your self-employment taxes. You're not an employee, right? An employee means specifically you filled out you got a W-2 at the end of the year with wages and salary and all that stuff. Otherwise, you're not. So, all right, same deal. Put your name and stuff. And I would put other, percent ownership 100. Again, email, your social security number, your date of birth 12/12/2020, 2018, nowhere. Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. Blah, 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 blah. Next. Oh, we missed one. Is your business owned by a business entity? No. All right, next. And again, no, no, no. Come down here, put your bank account names, but I would like to be considered. Click the next button. And I'm not going to do that because, again, I don't want to actually submit this. But make sure you also click this thing. And that's it. So that's all there is to it. This is ridiculously easy. It takes like 2 minutes to fill this out. Like I said, if you have done any kind of freelance work at all, even if you just got paid $500, right? I would still fill this out and see what we can see, right? I don't know who's going to get this money and who's not. Like I said, there's $10 billion earmarked. That means 1 million of us are going to get these. It's first come, first serve. So do this right now. Do it today. Don't wait. And see, all they can do is say no. So you might as well give it a try. And like I said, even if you haven't been impacted by the pandemic yet, there's a good chance you will be before this is all over. This could stretch into a year, guys. I mean, it really could. All the models show it's going to last a lot longer than they're telling us. Look at places like Italy. Look at China. It hasn't even started. It started in China in like September, November of last year, and it's still going now. So that's November, December, January, February, March, and now we're getting into April. It's been 6 months for them, and it's not over yet. So we've just started here in America. It's been like a couple of weeks. So we've got a lot more of this left to go, and I would grab this money now while you can, while it's there, because who knows how it's going to impact your business or your work or whatever. And why not? Give it a try. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, which I really appreciate, and check out codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. So it pays just $49 to access all my courses, over 40 courses on coding, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 90,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from codemy.com, and we'll see you in the next video.